Thank you, Christy. And Dennis, thank you. Oh, that was just absolutely beautiful. And of course, absolutely perfect for the talk today. First, I want to say welcome to everybody. For those who may not know me, I'm Reverend Beverley Strutt. I am the spiritual director here at this beautiful community. I also take on many other jobs, including table setup, breakdown, bathroom. No, I don't do bathroom cleaning anymore. I don't do that. We've got somebody wonderful taking care of that for us. But anyway, I'm very happy to be here today. Yes, that was gorgeous. I'm telling you, it was right here in the middle. It had monstrosities of flowers all over it, lights decorated in it. It was spectacular. The ceremony was performed by the bee man, the beekeeper. So it was quite appropriate. We had over 80 people in the sanctuary last night. They were welcomed with a guy doing fresh coconuts. They had 3 tents out here with food that was outrageous. A guy showed up with a truck and a smoker on the back. What can I tell you? You know, this place was alive. It was beautiful. The music was amazing. The bride and groom was spectacular. So we know that it up-levels all of this. And before I go any further, I have to say a special thank you to Tom Cashman back there, because without him, yesterday would have been doubly, triply hard. We were both here at 8:30 in the morning, unlocking and helping them get what we offer them out. We were back in and through the day, on and off, and eventually, after all was said and done, we got out of here at 9:30 last night. I'm going to sit down. I woke up this morning and went, that's it. I don't do another thing on Saturday nights. They want an event, somebody else has got to do it. I can't do it. So if you see me leaning, it's okay. It's all right. We can do this. But I'm telling you, it was so beautiful. So know that the sanctuary is available to the community to use, and they do it so, so well. They really did. So I was so grateful to be a part of that. There was something else I wanted to say, but guess what? Forget it. It might fly by, and if it does, I'll just catch it and we'll throw it back in. But that song, Be Gentle on Yourself, is so important. This month, literally, the topic is giant gentleness. We are going through, the whole year is Rise Up. So we try to rise up through gentleness for ourselves. And the topic for today's talk was originally taking it to the streets. Well, take it to the streets, because we are called to do that. We're called to go out and make shifts. I don't like the word change so much, because change kind of feels like we're fixing things. We're actually, because nothing is broken, so we're not fixing anything, but we're shifting it to a greater expression of what it is right now. Because there's infinite possibilities. We just have to invite a different possibility to have an expression. Right? And so being gentle with everything around us, gentle in how we approach these situations that are, as opposed to coming in hot. We come in, and as we come in with a gentle point of view, we get to see a bigger picture, because we're not so dialed focused on the fix. When we come in with a gentle perspective, we can see more possibilities of how to move. Because you know, there's something I got to tell you that you might not know. There's 100,000 ways to do something right. Right? There is. There's 100,000 ways to go from A to B. And they're all right. Every single one of them. Is it your way? Yeah, maybe not. Is it somebody else's way? Maybe yes, maybe this person. There are 100,000 ways to do something right. But if you come in hot with that focus and you only see that, you don't see the collaborative effect that you can have when you are gentle with yourself and the environment around you. Yeah? Yeah. Dr. Ernest Holmes refers to our shift in consciousness as right thinking. So I'm just going to read this piece to you about right thinking. He says, the power of right thinking cancels and erases everything unlike itself. Isn't that divine? So right thinking Now, let's be clear now. Right thinking is the same for everybody. Your right thinking and your right thinking are not different. Right thinking is the way to come into a life-affirming agreement with the divine. There's only one way. It's called the capital T truth. There's something in my eye over here. Oh, isn't that interesting? It's the light, Lucinda. It's the light. And so he says, the power of right thinking cancels and erases everything unlike itself. It answers every question. It solves all problems. It's the solution to every difficulty. It is like the sunlight of eternal truth, big T, bursting through the clouds of obscurity and bathing all life in celestial glory. Isn't that magnificent? Right thinking. And we just have to do that. We just have to shift in gentleness towards that thinking and not be triggered. Anybody? So I changed the title from taking it to the streets to triggers, hooks, and landing strips. Oh my. Because one of the greatest things that gets in the way of our right thinking is the people around us. Why are they not thinking the way I'm thinking? What's wrong with them? Don't they know any better? I got to go back to the joke. What do politicians and diapers have in common? They both need to be changed often and for the same reason. So do most of the people around us, right? No, they're not full of it. Not at all. But everybody has their own ideas about what's going on in life and their experience around them. They have this concept of what it is to be the truth. Not the right thinking, but their truth. Believe it or not, we're all going to end up at the same point, but we're going to come differently. How do we navigate all of that? How do we navigate right thinking, calmness, when all the people around us are designed to irritate us? They are. They are literally designed to push every button in you. Why? Because we've invited them in. Yeah. You know that person down the street that gave you that sign that you don't want to talk about? Why did he do that? Why did she do that? Why did this happen? I don't know. But I guarantee you there's a lovely reason inside of you that is calling this person forward. Because each and every one of you, for myself and for each and every one of you, is a teacher. We are here to bring out that stuff that we are trying to suppress. The stuff that is actually getting in the way of our right thinking. Isn't that fun? Even the ones that bring the beauty. Those people we love, we wrap our arms around them and we walk away and we go, why the hell did they do that? I love that person, but my goodness, they are just irking the crap out of me today. Why? It's for our own good. It's for us. It's for us to look inside and see what is working us and why. Why is it working us? Why is this coming forward? And we do it in community first, because if we can do it in community first, then we can be better at it out in the world. I always say this, if we were sitting up on a mountaintop, the shit would be easy. We'd be good. There'd be no triggers. There'd be no, oh my goodness, what's this person doing and saying right here, right now? Have they lost their mind? Don't they know what's going on in the world? Don't they know? No, there'll be none of that. But we're not on that mountaintop. You know why? Because this is where we get to do it. This is what we call that big rock tumbler, where we're all in it together, we're rubbing, and as we rub together, we straighten, we smooth out our little rough edges, and we bring out that beautiful shine that is the inside of that gem that we are. But along the way, we've got to get a lot of stuff out of the way first, right? So what we look at there is this whole idea that we want to be more gentle with the triggers. So a trigger, first of all, and I'm taking this out of the dictionary, you know, the one that you get online, the Wikipedia, that one that's got everything perfect in every way. It served my purpose, so I'm using it. A trigger is a small device that releases a spring or catch, and so sets off a mechanism, especially in order to fire a gun. All right? So hold that thought, and then I'm going to read the emotional trigger. It's a stimulus that elicits a reaction. It's releasing the gun inside of you. Literally, your trigger is releasing yourself to be actually damaged, as if a gun was going off inside of you. It often means to bring out or worsen symptoms. These things can be great. They can really be good, because sometimes if we don't have that trigger, we can walk around going, oh, I'm good. Anybody heard of spiritual bypass? Oh, I'm good. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But that trigger can get you to a point where you're going to go, all right, what's going on here? Why is this making me so frustrated, irritated? All the other words that you want to use. You know why? Because you got a hook. You got a hook. Anybody ever tried to use Velcro? You've used Velcro, right? Have you yourself ever taken a piece of Velcro attached to something, you've gone like this and it doesn't stick? You know why? Because you got two smooth parts, and the two smooth parts are not going to stick together. But my goodness, you put the hooks in there, you're in. So we have Velcro. We are Velcro. Our hooks are here. What are our hooks? Our hidden beliefs. Those thoughts that happened when we were children. That's our hook. Something we don't even remember, something that may not even be relevant. But my goodness, it'll get us going. It'll sure get you going. And that Velcro goes, and you've hooked on. The other one is a landing strip. Doesn't that feel more gentle? No, not at all. Absolutely. Have you ever seen a little two-seater plane riding over the islands, these little atolls? And they're so pretty, they're so pretty. It's full of garbage. The plane is full of garbage, right? No landing strip. Can't go there. No landing strip. Oh, I can't go there. Ah, there's a landing strip. Meow. Let me dump all my garbage right in this beautiful little place. Each and every one of us has a landing strip in front side of us, waiting for somebody to land with all of their garbage. So if you don't have a hook and you don't have a landing strip, guess what? It's like Teflon. It goes right over you. But your hooks and your landing strips are yours. Nobody else put them there. You put them there. You got them from something that happened when you might have been a child, something you heard, something you interpreted, a perception that was not even true in any shape or form, but you made it true, and then your great story that you stuck to all the years, man, that just grew and grew and grew. It was beautiful. You know how big your hook is? Woo, it's all the way out there, waiting for anybody to land. Landing strip, come on in. Here I am. We have these. But if we get triggered, we can see it, we can figure it out. We can figure out what it is. Now, this is where it gets good. This is where it gets really good. And not everybody's going to agree with me on this, but this is what I see. You can take decades of therapy. You can dig as deep as you want into that baby little person over there, pull them up, do the whole visualization. Oh, I'm so sorry, I love on you. This is all good stuff, right? It's all good stuff. But at the end of the day, there's only one thing you really have to do. Anybody got an idea what that might be? Choose a different idea. It's really that simple, right? And we can go, oh, no, I need to dig up all my garbage. I've got to process this. Yeah. That word process has been overused in our society over the last 10 years. Processing. We process everything. Oh, I don't like that color. Oh, let me go process that. Oh, that person looks, let me go process that. Holy crap, really? Do we have to process everything in our life, or can we just make a different choice? I'm voting for a different choice. I don't have the cash to go through decades of therapy. You know how much it costs an hour. That starts at $165, if not $380. All right? Do you want to do that, or do you want to make a new choice? Anybody for a new choice? New choice. Right. Okay. So we have to be aware of what's going on inside of us. We're not in denial here. I'm not in a spiritual bypass going, I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. But am I willing to be gentle on myself so that I can see a bigger picture that's going on around me and go, when that happens and I react like that, and then afterwards I feel like doo-doo because that's not how I wanted to react. So what am I going to choose next time? Boom, it happens. Now I recognize you. I see you. I stop. I pause. I think. I stop. I pause. I think. I don't just react. Boom. I stop. And I look at it and I go, what is that really? Where did that come from? Oh, I remember my dad used to say that. Nope, not my dad. I get to make a different choice. I get to go, okay, I'm going to go process that for a minute. No. You can, if you want to, give yourself a minute. But in actuality, a thought takes a moment. It only takes, isn't there a song? It only takes a moment. It only takes a moment. Can't that be a moment of right thinking? It can be a moment of right thinking, going, this doesn't work, so I'm going to stop and I'm going to have a new thought, a new idea, because it's not like you haven't been given these opportunities over and over again. We just don't take them. We don't take them. Why? Because that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's always going to be. Nothing's ever going to change. I'm such a victim. The world is such a hard place. I'm never going to get out from underneath this. My parents taught me. I'm just following their footsteps. Yeah. If you've ever done any kind of life coaching or any kind of spiritual work, you would have heard those words from 100 people 100 times. And you know what it is? It's a cop-out. It's just a cop-out. Yes. Did we have traumatic experiences? Absolutely. Did we want to go and look at them and bring them in and love on them and heal them? Absolutely. But healing does not begin when you're making the same old choices. Make a new choice. I talk about being in the mud. When you're in the mud, you're not going to clean yourself off. You got to get out of the mud. Get away from it. Make a new choice. Now you can get clean. And then you can look back and go, I'm going to heal that mud right now. And guess what? Most of the time, it's already gone. Because it can only exist with you in it. And you know what about those people that are irritating you? Wow, they're gone. When the teacher has done the teacher's work, they will leave. And so you get to walk a path that is nice and gentle with you, and the irritants are fewer and fewer and farther between, because those people that you've gathered around you have said, you've learned your lesson, and we're no longer here. I promise it's the truth. It truly is the truth. And it works that way all the time. Dr. Holmes says, the mind must reach a place where it no longer remembers the past with anxiety or looks to the future with uncertainty. It focuses instead on the divine goodness, the loving kindness, and the givingness of God. It means that we've come back to right thinking. We change our perception on things. We have a broader view. And we're not working by being triggered, because we have control over that. We can say no and stop and pause and reset and do it in the moment. And then, of course, if you go home exhausted, you can sit there and process your whole day, which is not bad. I would call it scan. Let's see how I could have done that differently. But then do it differently the next time. Don't just react back where you were. So here is what's very, very important. It all comes back to being gentle with yourself. Loving yourself enough to want to make those changes. So then you can truly love others in an unconditional manner, which means that when you are addressing big situations that are unlike what we want to see in the world, we can come with an open and loving and unconditional heart, so we see a bigger, greater, fuller picture, and the shifts happen more easily in that manner. We can also see people in an untriggered way, and that's how we get to change and shift and be that which the world is waiting for. We can be that change in the world because we've done that work. No, we didn't have to process. All we had to do was make a new choice. Valerie Carr says, loving ourselves is a frontline social justice work. Angela Davis was asked, why should we practice radical care for ourselves? And she said, longevity. If we don't start practicing collective self-care now, there is no way to imagine, much less reach, a time of freedom. That means finding a way to breathe life into the world we want here and now. And the only way we can get to do that is be getting our BS out of the way. And we do that by taking away our hooks and our landing strip. Shut it down. Don't allow what is undesirable for you to land. Figure out why you were letting it land, and then go, yeah, not today. You can land right over there if you like, but you're not landing in here. You see this big hook? Bing. No longer do I allow you to come and hang on this, because it no longer works for me, and it's not going to happen anymore. This is self-care. This is self-care that will change the world, because as each one of us does this, so it spreads out into the world. And the more we can do it collectively, the better we get at it. So this is the call to action for this week. To notice with awareness where you're being triggered. See that hook. Dismantle it. Look at that landing strip going, yeah, no longer. I love my island enough to look after it. You don't get to dump your garbage on me anymore, because I get why I let you do it in the first place. Right? We get it. So it's all about, and we're going to do that as we walk through our week in awareness. Are you going to make a mistake? Are you still going to find hooks that you didn't know you had? Absolutely. But once you've done it once, you can figure it out again and again and again and again. So remember, it's all about loving yourself. So in closing, I'm going to speak a little word from my favorite man, Mark Nepo. It's called loving yourself. In loving ourselves, we love the world. For just as fire, rock, and water are all made up of molecules, everything, including you and me, is connected by a small piece of the beginning. Yet, how do we love ourselves? It is difficult at times to see in the back of your head. It can be as elusive as it is necessary. I've tried and tripped many times, and I can only say that loving yourself is like feeding a clear bird that no one else can see. I've learned that loving yourself requires a courage unlike any other. It requires us to believe in and stay loyal to something no one else can see, that keeps us in our world, our own self-worth. You are worthy of doing this work for yourself. You are worthy of that new idea and that new choice. And if not you, then who? Absolutely. So he goes on to say, all the great moments of conception, the birth of mountains, of trees, of fish, of prophets, and the truth of relationships at last, all begin where no one can see. And it is our job not to extinguish what is so beautifully begun. For once full light, everything is safely on its way, not pain-free, but unencumbered. And the air beneath your wings is the same air that trills in my throat, and the empty benches in snow are as much a part of us as the empty figures who slouch on them in the spring. When we believe in what no one else can see, we find we are each other. We find that we are each other. And all moments of living, no matter how difficult, come back into some central point where self and world are one, where light pours in and out at once. And once there I realize, make real before me that this moment, whatever it might be, is a fine moment to live and a fine moment to die. So be gentle on yourselves. And please, for goodness sake, make a new choice. Thank you. Let's take it to prayer. So I take a deep breath in and recognize in this moment in time the wonderment of the divine, the wonderment that is that magnificent power and energy that works around us, through us, and as us in all that we think, say, feel, do, and experience. And I know for each one of us today that we know that we are part of this, that there is no separation, that we are all this divinity in action right here, right now. And that as we feed this clear bird that no one can see, we are feeding everybody. For as we shift, so the universe, God, eternity, shifts in agreement. So we begin with ourselves, where we look deep in with kind and loving hearts to make the changes, to make the choices, to have a new idea so that we can walk forward in a big picture with an open heart and a willingness to see things a little differently, knowing that in turn we see ourselves differently. And from that moment forward, all is well. So I just call it so. So I just release this prayer knowing that it is done, knowing that all truly is well. And we claim it by saying, and so it is. Thank you.